Okay, over here we'll be working on movements. First half of the morning, we'll be getting out of position aggressively. Second half, we'll work on rolling into position. They're kind of flip sides of the same coin, so the same concepts apply. The scenario is this: I'll start on the orange cone. I have 3 targets to engage. Shoot these 3 targets. We're going to stipulate inside to outside. You'll see why in a second. Then I'm going to look to the green cone and attack, like run, run, run towards the green cone. Hand off the gun. How aggressive on the movement? Yeah, flat out. It's like, just think you need to be useful for only a short number of seconds in this game. You know, like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So we want maximum aggression. It's even more important to be full power, full speed in training, because that's how you're going to learn to control yourself. Probably a lot of you have had the experience where you feel like you're going really fast, and then you look at footage of yourself in a match and you're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm talking about? Everybody's had this, where it's like, it's just, and again, this is a perception thing. So what we want, the ideal, is you leverage all of the physical ability you have. You weigh 300 pounds, you move it as hard as you can. You know, you weigh 150 pounds, move as aggressively as you can. And then in practice, if I overrun a little bit, you know, not positioned quite right, whatever, it's easy to like learn to control yourself and rein it back in. You're not going to train slow and go to a match and be fast. I've never seen anybody pull that trick off yet. So we're going to train fast and then get it controlled and then carry that to the match. All right, now, we did exercise yesterday, remember, with the stick. We're shooting, getting your shoulders moving a little bit, stepping a little. This exercise is where we're going to leverage that ability. And I'll show you what I mean. I want you to watch, don't look at my ass, look at my shoulders as I do this, okay? Joel's shaking his head, he loves that shit. Okay. All right, what did you see from my shoulders there? Yeah, so when we're thinking in terms of movement, what I like to watch is somebody's shoulders. Because a lot of times you'll see good shooters, kind of, maybe they're going to stop on the orange cone for one target and it looks like this. And they get going again. Like, you see high level shooting like that. Did that guy really stop? Did he shoot on the move?
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, so for us, we look at the shoulders. It's like, if you keep your center of gravity rolling through a position, that's a time saver. If I'm standing here shooting and I start rolling out of position while I'm shooting, that's a time saver. I come into position, I'm still rolling, I register the sight where I want, get on the trigger, that's where I'm going to save time. I can't do a whole lot about you being 150 pounds or 300 pounds. You know? You can't. But this is where you can make time, and this is why you'll see some pretty big dudes move around in a match and be like, put up some times. You're like, what the fuck? How'd he shoot that time? That's how he shot that time. You with me so far? Okay, so there's a few things we're doing here that I want you to pay attention to. First, I've intentionally put a no shoot on this target that we roll out of position shooting. From a training perspective, we could take that no shoot off of there and everybody would just be comfortable, at the least, slam the gun over into brown and hammer the trigger and move out, and it would like look like what I'm talking about. However, to keep you honest with the marksmanship side of this, we put the no shoot there. All right, so you're gonna have to pick out a spot, and most people probably shooting reactively where it's dot press, and they perceive the sight coming back. Training wise, this is better. You guys know what I'm talking about. If we're working on movement, we could put the targets close and you run fast and hose bullets on the targets. You're not really building the technique we want, right? So that's why we've got a no shoot on there for some accountability. Now the other part of this is the psychological piece. As you start rolling out of position, this makes people feel awkward and uncomfortable. I think you all experienced this yesterday when we were doing doubles from around a lean and shit like that. When you're moving, that magnifies, because you'll feel like you're gonna fall over. Even though I don't think you're going to. Maybe, but I don't think so. Right? You're probably not. You're just gonna feel uncomfortable. So that feeling, what do you think it makes you want to do when you're uncomfortable? Or? Well, okay, well, this will be something different. Most people, they just start slamming the trigger. They just want to be done. They're like, ah, and they just start shooting. Get used to being uncomfortable a little bit and still execute on what you know is right, which is spot focus, wait for the sight, react to what you see. It's just you're uncomfortable. The other thing, these cones here are a good aid. It helps to look at what you're doing. I mean, where you put your attention is really important. So I'll be, look at a spot, look at a spot, look at a spot. What's the next thing I want to look at? Yeah, I put down a green cone. So it's like spot, 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 and then look to the cone and how aggressive, full power, full speed, as aggressive as I can, run, run, run. Now this is where it gets a little tough. As I approach this position I want to shoot from, depending on how you're set up physically, it'll be somewhere around the yellow cone, but I'm looking where I want to go, looking where I want to go. And now, as soon as I get here, 3 things got to happen at once. 3 things, okay? Look to the target or where I think it is. If I don't, you know, and this may be an opaque vision barrier, I may not be able to tell, but I still like, oh, there's something back there I want to shoot, right? I'll at least know that. So I'm going to look for where I think it is. I'm going to start mounting the gun. So 2 hands on the gun, rebuild the grip, and then I got to start decelerating. What I like to do is conceptualize, just sit back on my butt, and then I'll allow myself to take shorter, choppier steps, and I'll slow myself down, right? I want to stop on the green cone, feet spread apart, knees bent, looking at that target. When do I start shooting? Yeah, the sight will tell me at this distance, for every, it's going to be red, smash it. Okay? I know that's a lot of shit. That is a lot, right? The focus now will be you rolling out of the orange cone. So I want you shoot, roll out, and then get moving. I won't critique this part of it super hard. After 90 minutes, we'll flip it, and there'll be more targets you move into, 1 target you shoot off the start. We'll talk about it before we do it, but then we'll critique this part of it really hard. Okay, because it's too much. This is a lot of stuff to ingrain. Do you have any questions here? All right, so the flow, we have 4 scenarios over there, 2 scenarios here. Just like yesterday, we'll circulate around. You know, everybody should get to try it. We have about like 90 minutes-ish for this set. So just make sure you get around and try these things, and Joel and I will keep it flowing as best we can to get you as many looks at these as possible. Cool. Let's get to it.